am I right in thinking you can perhaps help me with the technology on this? Obviously, your device is one eye monocular, I would say, um, and two eyes binocular would make sense. So is it the more the two lenses binocular based devices? Do they tend to be more immersive? I would imagine because it's kind of that's where we. I'm just thinking of, like, for example, HoloLens, where we see that more immersive, that one, like you say, it looks fantastic. There's no denying it when you see it, it is like something out of the future, like Minority Report. It's great to play with for 10 minutes, but it is very, very immersive, and I would imagine that's probably the difference between the two, is that the single eye options are generally more designed for that data transfer and that quick access to data. Can you just kind of again clarify my thinking a little
right.
around
I
that?
mean, the reason you have two displays on these smart glasses is two will give you 3D content, allowing you to get immersed. So these are systems very much like a VR headset. If you ever tried a VR headset on, you get immersed in this world. The difference is they take the back off and you can somewhat see through. Or if there's no graphics being presented on the screen, you can see the world around you. But the moment you get the graphics on there, you get blocked. That's really a temporary limitation of technology. That will go away in the years to come, as these displays today, you have this lens in front of you. Just the middle rectangle is where they can display data. Over the next few years, we'll see that area expanding, so I can display data all around my lens. And then we get to the place where we need to, where a lot of the important content is placed in the peripheral vision around the eye. But we're not there yet. I think we're still a number of years away, and we'll probably see a HoloLens 3 and a HoloLens 4 get closer and closer to that reality. And then we'll see maybe other technologies converging better. But until then, you really have a choice of the immersive 3D or the 2D non-immersive that we have today.
Yeah. Okay. Let me zone in a little bit more on I once coined the word ruggedity, and somebody told me about 2 years later that it wasn't a word, and we put it in the magazine, and we ran with it for 2 years, and then I saw somebody else using it. I was like, wow, we've invented a new word. But ruggedness is the general term, but I like ruggedity. Let me just kind of zone in a little bit on the your device and the kind of testing. So you mentioned 2 meter drop. Is that onto concrete?
Yeah, so
plywood?
here we are, a rugged device, bends, twists. There's all sorts of weird things you might want to do with this. The arm folds away, so you don't have to have the display in front of you. But it is pretty rugged and robust. I normally would, if I was on a stage, for example, giving a demonstration, I would drop this onto the floor and everyone would go, woo, can't do that. But you can bash these around and have fun with it. It is designed to be a beast of a device, to be rugged, right? And so I think in the many, many thousands that we've shipped, we've had about just a handful returned of failure. And I even got one returned there that was run over by a truck, literally backed over by a truck, and it's fully functional, just works, had a few scratches on it. So it's maybe even over designed to be rugged, but it is that, and it's also IP66 rated for dust and water ingress.
Okay. So let's just kind of put a bit of clarity on that for the audience. Couple of points. So standard things to look out for when we're looking at the tests that go through. You'll see. You may be able to help me on this. It's Milstad. I always forget the 801 or whichever. It's generally a testing that we go through. We'll see drop tests.
Right.
Yeah. One thing to look out for. I'm pretty sure you mentioned it was concrete. This is something that again having
which is, there's no point doing a 1 meter or 1.5 meter onto concrete, because most people are wearing this on their head and they're going to knock it off.
Exactly.
Sorry about that. Drop my device. It's going to fall 2 meters, right?
Yeah.
So that's what we are testing against.
Yeah. And so that's something else that's worth to look at is the height of that drop test in the for any device. Check the height of the test. Again, having reviewed a lot of rugged tablets in my time, and having run one over with my old Land Rover actually for a video many years ago, which unfortunately I don't even have the Land Rover anymore, so it doesn't work quite as well when you're trying to run it over with a little Z4. But that's one thing to look at. Look out for what it's dropped onto, is another piece of advice I would say, because quite often it can be drop tested onto plywood. I've even seen cardboard once, which kind of negates the purpose. So there's a bit of information to kind of dig into there. You mentioned IP as well. Again, just to kind of give a bit of definition to that. So IP ratings is what protects it against dust and water ingress. If I'm right, so you said IP66.
Yeah, two numbers there. The first.
So that's completely. Sorry, yeah. Go on. You explain it for me, Kris.
How well it's protected against solids, about dust particles. And the second number is how well it's protected against water. It's waterproofness. So we are 6.6. It goes up to, I believe, 8 is the maximum you can get to. The 6 on the solids means that we are dust tight. There's no ingress, there's no dust getting into our device. We have complete protection against contact. So we can be out in the deserts. We can be out in the oil fields. If we need to be, we can be inside the plants, and we're not worried about dust getting in and ruining anything. That's the dust part. And on the liquids, we are protected to the level of 6 as well, which is basically I can aim a fire hose at this at all angles and just shoot water at it, and it's going to continue to work. It's not an issue. I'm not going to be able to submerge this. I'm not going to be able to stick it a metre or more underwater. That's where the 7 comes into it. But in reality, that doesn't really make sense for our device because it's speech driven. It's very difficult to do speech when you're underwater.